NXT, NXT. What do you got tonight, huh? Not one, but two cage matches tonight for NXT. And what was going to go on off this show tonight, huh? Got a lot going on here tonight, so let's kick it off. Which only tonight we have Mauro Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness on commentary due to Beth Phoenix getting RKO last Monday on Monday Night Raw, which fans cheered for. That was great. We're only going to have them on commentary tonight, but we are going to start it off with a cage match between Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai. Of course, Raquel Gonzalez was out there with Dakota Kai. You know, I've talked about this feud before several times. Honestly, I'm surprised it's even still going at this point, but they did bring in that Gonzalez girl. I still think it's a little bit of wannabe champion Gargano, but I feel like I'm just getting tired of seeing this feud. I really am. This wasn't a bad match or anything, even though I feel like they had to wait on some of these cage spots a couple times. But they did use the cage to what they can, throwing each other back and forth, especially Tegan Nox throwing Dakota Kai into it. Even, using the cage, just knocking each other back and forth. I do like that, what was that Code Red backbreaker thing that, Dakota Kai does. That looks really good. Even hit with a headbutt after that. One thing, I know they had climbed up to the top of the cage, right? And I believe it was Tegan Nox. She ended up chokeslamming Dakota Kai off the cage. Yeah, I know Ronaldo does all these crazy pop, whatever culture references, but I did kind of like that Dakota Kai just took a fall like Oprah took at the whatever the clip Oprah just fell off of, at the time where she tripped to the ground. That's what they said. She just tripped to the ground like Oprah did the 2020 Vision Summit or whatever. You've seen the clip. If anyone's seen the clip, you know what I'm talking about. But I just found that was hilarious. I found that very funny. He did say that though when Dakota Kai took that choke slam. She just felt like Oprah. I actually laughed at that one. Hey, that was for Mike, man. That was for Mike. That was payback. That was for Kobe. That was that was definitely for them. Definitely for them. So I did crack up. I did crack up when he did say that line about comparing it to Oprah, everything. Actually, that was pretty funny though, man. That was I'm sure a lot of people saying that was either for Mike, that was either for Kobe, that was either for Kels, that was either for Cosby or whoever she's gone after. But a lot of people looked at that as payback. I agree with that, but that was funny to me. But after she took that cage from the top rope, Tegan Nox did. Dakota Kai ended up getting up eventually, trying to get through the corner, but Tegan Nox stopped her, getting her back inside the ring, throwing her to the turnbuckle several times. Nox hit her with a big drop kick for the 2 count, but she tried to get out the cage then, but Gonzalez was right there. Tegan Nox didn't really know what to do, so she got out the top of the cage then, but she was still blocked off by Gonzalez. She ended up in a big crossbody from the top rope then, taking down Dakota Kai, knocking her down. She was going to go through the door again, but once again, Raquel Gonzalez blocked her. So Dakota Kai ended up pretty much kicking, not kicking, but, no, Tegan Nox was trying to get out, but Dakota Kai did a kick and pretty much knocked Gonzalez down after Kai kicked her. Then after that, Tegan Nox hit the shiniest wizard for the 2 count. Tegan Nox looked shocked, so she went back to trying to skate the top of the cage again, which it got a little bit ridiculous. I know they were waiting on a spot right here, but because I feel like she could have jumped down any time, but Dakota Kai had to try to pull her off the cage, which did not work, and Tegan Nox pretty much used the door and kicked the door into Dakota Kai then, which knocked Gonzalez back a little, but Gonzalez ended up using the door to trap Tegan Nox, because after she kicked the door into Dakota Kai to block her from getting out the cage, I was like, jump down the cage anytime now. But I did think this was kind of creative. Gonzalez used the door and trapped Tegan Nox in the cage door so she could not climb down, allowing Dakota Kai to get out of the cage then. So I will say that wasn't a bad finish. Mauro now looked pissed, calling in like you son of a bitch and everything for what happened. So yeah, Dakota Kai gets another win from this. I guess they're still dragging this whole story. I guess, you know, sooner or later Tegan Nox is going to get the win over Dakota Kai when that happens. But, you know, she's got to use her heavy right there to get the win. It was a good cage match. I know some people would have said, where's the blood? You know, I've been hearing there's a lot of things this week now, especially with cage matches recently. I know we just saw one on AEW and whatnot, but should we get more blood inside these cage matches? Because it could have worked better, especially for this feud that they've made a blood feud between Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai and everything. You expect maybe some blood inside of this. But we got no blood from this cage match, but I thought it was pretty good. The finish was creative. I will say that. It looked a little bit ridiculous. I felt like some people were waiting on spots half the time, but not a bad finish, though. I will agree on that. What do we got next here? Yes, pretty much what we got next. Then we went to Rhea Ripley. As I said, guess they were showing a preview of the Rhea Ripley and Charlotte match for WrestleMania. And Ripley was at the Tampa Bay football stadium where WrestleMania was going to happen. I guess she was there to check out the, you know, the arena and everything, or just the football field itself. A lot of XFL logos. I just want to say the Tampa Bay Viper, the Tampa Bay Vipers team. They got to promote that XFL too. Hey, we got football. We're at a football stadium for WrestleMania, so you might as well promote one of the XFL teams and try to get that over, because it is connected to WWE. I know they don't really mention on this show, but we got to promote that XFL, okay? But, you know, Ripley pretty much going to where she is right now, how she first started, and, you know, going all the way back from the Mae Young Classic, as people called her a mini Charlotte, but she had to, you know, get her own look. Pretty much kind of talking about her life story to where she is right now, and now she has to beat the best, because Ric Flair said to beat a man, you have to beat the man, and now Ripley must beat the best at WrestleMania then. But pretty much after that, it was a #1 contenders match, well, not #1 contender, a qualifying match for #1 contenders for the NXT TakeOver, you know, Tampa ladder match, which was first Shotzi Blackheart and Chelsea Green. An okay match, didn't really go that long. It's okay, I will say that. Between Green and Blackheart there, kind of figured Green was gonna win. I know both of them are really new, but they're trying to get Robbie E and Chelsea Green over. SC, and Green ended up winning with the Prettier for the win. So as she's moving on in this whole qualifying tournament. Of course, they got more Killer Cross promos airing on here. Next, we had Keith Lee coming out. Keith Lee came out to cut a promo. Pretty much fans chanted bask in his glory in Keith Lee as he just took time to soak it in. Greetings and salutations, he said that the limitless one is here. And a lot of people have been talking about now, coming after this title, that people want to fight forever like Dijak, or they want to live forever like Damian Priest. And as he continued to cut this promo, Cameron Grimes, Trevor Lee, whatever you want to call him, came out pretty much talking about, you know, you don't need to talk about Priest or Dijak. You need to talk about me, Cameron Grimes. He talked about how he beat Dijak last week. His fans pretty much gave him massive boos, telling him to go away. Like, it took you 20 minutes, but it didn't take me that long. Pretty much Keith Lee cut him off and everything, but Grimes pretty much started yelling at him then, which once again got more boos and stuff. And listen, I want to hear what you got to say, okay? So what do you have to say? But every time you got to try and talk, saying like, I beat Dijak and everything, and I should be next for #1 contender, next for the title. Pretty much more boos kept coming in. And he says that, you know, Lee and Dijak was a 5-star match. But he said Regal gave Grimes for a shot at the North American title next week. Pretty much Keith Lee says, okay, he pushed him to the ground, looked like a giant person knocking down a small person. Or some people say it looked like a bully knocking him down and whatnot. Pretty much pushed him down all to the outside of the ring. And he says, listen, 5-star, 1-star, whatever you want to call yourself right now. Listen, I will give you an equal opportunity ass whooping for this title. So you want a title shot next week? Okay, let's do this then. All right, so you'll see him next week for a shot at the North American title, Keith Lee and Cameron Grimes. That should be a good match next week for the title. They interview Austin Theory, talking about he's, has some of the greatest matches right now in his young career, only being, 21, 22 years old, and that he is pretty much having the best NXT matches right now, or just he's the greatest person in NXT right now, until Swerve came in, pretty much challenged him to a match tonight. Next we got Red Dragon versus Oni Lorcan and Danny Burchton. Not a bad match, I will say that. I didn't know where this was really going, but this was not a bad match. I keep forgetting Lorcan and Burch are there half the time, but they had a very good match with Undisputed Era. I know Lorcan tried to go for those elbows. He goes back and forth across the ropes, but out of nowhere, Red Dragon hit the total elimination on him for the win. Good tag match, I will say that. It wasn't much I could say from it, but pretty good, and the finish kind of came out of nowhere. So you knew Red Dragon Undisputed Era were going to win this match in general, because in a way Lorcan and Burch just kind of either enhancement, or they're pretty much basically enhancement talent ever since they came back. But not a bad tag match though. But they start cutting a promo right after then, talking about they want their tag team titles back, and that whoever the loser weights right there, they call them the makeshift tag team, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, are not deserving of the tag team titles. The Broserweights came out as Riddle said that, the Stallion Ride and Riddle and Stallion Dunne are out here. If you want a rematch, let's do it. But as he kept talking, the Grizzled Young Veterans attacked him from behind. Zach Gibson saying, like, listen, dweebs, I don't care about your rematch or anything. Or we don't need to wait for Regal to give us a title shot, that we're the ones taking over, and that the Grizzled Young Veterans will be soon to be recognized, and they will be the #1 in NXT as the champions. So the Grizzled Young Veterans are still in the run for the title hunt themselves, so we will see what happens from that. But I guess they said next week it is going to be Undisputed Era and the Bros awaits for the tag team titles, though. So we'll see what comes from that. Isaiah Swerve Scott going against Austin Theory. Not a bad match. I still think Austin Theory looks like a creative player. A lot of people say like a creative 2K, creating a WWE 2K player on there for some reason. I do like they call him that. His entrance still looks generic to me. But him and Swerve had a good match, though. I actually thought Swerve was actually going to win this match, to be honest. But I should have figured where this was going to go. Swerve with that giant back kick he does looks insane half the time. Even, got like some movie hit in the air that looked pretty cool. I know that. He did that whole thing with like breaking his arm, stepping on it and everything. That looked pretty crazy. And he was about to go for him again through the top rope, but Austin Theory knocked him back before hitting him with the ATL, or he called it the Austin Theory level or something. I think he calls it ATL, but it was a TKO he basically won with, pinning Swerve. But a good match though, not bad, I will say that. So it was a pretty good match. But I feel like Swerve needs some wins. I feel like I see Swerve lose a lot on this show. I don't know why. I just feel like I see him lose. I see him lose a lot. They need to go somewhere with him. I don't know what they're doing with him at the time, but they need to give him some wins or something. I think they play another Killer Cross promo, especially with the Doomsday Clock. We then went to, like I said, there's a lot of these Doomsday Clocks on here tonight, but we then went next to a sit-down interview between Mauro Ranallo and Johnny Gargano at the Performance Center, since I believe NXT will be on the Performance Center next week due to some school event happening. I read this not that long ago, but they will be live from the Performance Center next week. And Ranallo asked Johnny Gargano, why? Why did you do what you did at TakeOver? And, Gargano talked about, I was the only person to show up your documentary at the red carpet. And Ranallo was appreciative of it. But Gargano pretty much says, Mauro, you're the best person who can tell people who Gargano is. All the catchphrases and whatnot. But Mauro says, we want to know what's with all the sneak attacks against Ciampa. Gargano started getting pissed in, and that, the attack wasn't a sneak attack, okay? Because he was wearing what the sports coat or whatnot he was wearing, and Gargano pretty much kept cutting him off. Like, why do you keep asking questions? What is with that, huh? And then he says, why? Why do you want to know why? Why are you doing this? And he kept talking about Day and everything did this. You haven't seen what I've seen. You don't know what I know, okay? You haven't done what I've done, pretty much telling him all that. And Morrow's like, listen, we just want to know why, okay? And Gargano kept getting pissed. He kept kind of jumping up. He didn't want to try to jump up and get in Ronaldo's face, and he says, you want to know why? You want to ask all the questions. You want to call me Johnny Turncoat and whatnot. You called me that at TakeOver, didn't you? And Morrow says, I was just in the moment. And okay, but Gargano says, you keep praising Ciampa when he came back, but then he called him a liar. He says, are you a liar, Ronaldo? And Ronaldo pretty much says, you know what? We're done with this interview. We're not going to do this. I'm done. And Gargano pretty much went on and says, oh, no quick whips, no Mamma Mia's, nothing, no jokes this time, huh? And pretty much he looked in the camera and said, Ciampa, we're going to do things the Johnny Gargano way, and he's going to show him next week. So apparently Gargano is more either unhinged or crazy, so at least we finally got a promo from him after 2 weeks of, well, one, we didn't even see him 1 week, and then the next week he ended up attacking Ciampa, so at least we got a promo, not an explanation all the way, but mostly him being crazy in this sit-down interview setting with Mauro Ranallo, pretty much getting pissed several times before Ranallo could walk away, pretty much like he was almost about to fight him instead of focusing on Ciampa. Like, what's with all the questions? Why you want to know this? Why you want to know that? Why you want to know everything? So, excuse me, why do you want to know everything? What's like? Why are you asking these questions? Huh? So, at least this Gargano is supposed to be more crazy in this heel thing. We'll see where this goes. Like I said about Gargano and Ciampa before, it's not like I don't mind seeing this feud again. It's just I've seen enough of this feud. I don't really need to see it anymore. I know the roles are reversed and it's backwards now. Okay, Gargano's the heel, Ciampa's the face, but I get it. They didn't have the match at the last year's TakeOver during Mania weekend, but even I'm just kind of to the point where I've seen enough of their matches that what else can they do at this point? But I guess we'll see what happens next week, but I just feel like I've seen enough of this feud. But we went to the main event, Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong in a cage match. Immediately, as Strong got in the ring, they pretty much ended up brawling with each other then. In the ring right there. Pretty much they went at each other. I know, well, who came out there? Was it Marine Shafir came out and handed like a what was it, Kindle? Yeah, got a Kindle stick and everything. Because Dream's been trying to fuck his wife several times, but I guess she's come and help and give her a Kindle stick and act like she didn't know nothing. Fans chanted Calvin Klein because they keep talking about his underwear. I don't know where. I've noticed that several times now. They keep talking about Roderick Strong's underwear that he wears, Calvin Klein, and the fans chanted it. So must be getting over for some reason. But yeah, the Kindle stick was involved. I know Dream had control over it during a little bit of the commercial when they kind of did the side-by-side screen thing going on. But I know the Kindle stick was pretty much knocked out of the way. Knocked out of the way. After that, I know they started climbing up the cage at one point. Strong hit him with a big angle slam, which looked pretty deadly. I will say that. Pretty much Dream and Strong tried to escape the cage through the door, pretty much leapfrogging over each other, but it did not work. Dream ended up hitting him with a Death Valley driver, and then hit him with a second one right after that. And then he was going to go for the top rope for the Purple Rainmaker, but the rest of the Undisputed Era came out with weapons then, as Dream was able to fight them off, knocking them back. Cole was able to get in the cage then after he knocked Red Dragon off, but as, Cole got in, Dream knocked him down. Then Strong was about to get out the door. Dream had stopped him, but he looked for a second. He looked at Adam Cole again. So he threw Roderick Strong out of the ring. Okay, he threw him out there, and it's like, I don't want you. I'm done with you. I'm going after Cole. So he pretty much locked himself in there with Adam Cole then, and pretty much started beating him up then right after. And then, Fish and them tried to get back in, but he knocked him off the cage. Strong was almost inside the cage, but Dream ended up getting a kendo stick and start knocking both Cole and Strong with the kendo stick. Then, you know, just pretty much beating them with it. Dream ended up throwing Cole into Strong then, as he was, you know, still hanging on the cage on, you know, on the turnbuckle and whatnot. And then Dream grabbed the belt. He grabbed the title belt. He hit Adam Cole with it then, as he posed with the title belt after beating up the, you know, Undisputed Era. Pretty much looking at the title and climbing up to the top of the cage. So, yeah, I guess we all now know that Dream is going to be the next one in line for the title. I will say this was a better Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream match for this cage one. Very good cage match, I will say that too. Marina Shafir coming out there, I wouldn't say it was random just because it's Dream and trying to, you know, fuck his wife several times. I guess she's trying to help her husband. I'm almost surprised they don't have her just around with Shayna Baszler on Monday Night Raw, her or Jessamine Duke. So I guess they're keeping them on NXT. But Dream versus Cole, I guess, like I said, we now know who Adam Cole's opponent will be at WrestleMania. Not WrestleMania, but NXT TakeOver Tampa, or WrestleMania weekend itself. Because I didn't really know who was going to be going against Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver. But I guess we now know. Because Dream is like, you know what? I did what I did to Strong. I'm done with him. Now I got the trap. And I trapped Adam Cole in here with me. So now I'm the one going for the championship. So, you know, he's getting paid back on the Undisputed Era after they jumped him and everything. So he's pretty much done with Strong. Played mind games with him. Now it's time to go over Adam Cole for the title. So I will say this was a very good episode of NXT though this week. At least been some better shows, because NXT's been kind of having weak episodes lately. This cage match was good. I will say both cage matches was really good. I like this one better than the first one, but Dream and Strong had a very good cage match. The Johnny Gargano sit-down interview with Ronaldo was really good. I guess, you know, he's trying to be crazy now, so we'll see what goes with that. I enjoyed the Grizzled Young Veterans on the microphone. The Keith Lee and, you know, Cameron Grimes, Trevor Lee promo was really good too. Keith Lee knocking him down was just hilarious to me. I thought that was funny. I noticed they got to keep promoting that XFL on there. Saw a lot of those logos on this show tonight too. So yeah. But I actually thought it was a very good episode of NXT tonight. One of a better episode, I will say that, especially in the build into NXT TakeOver Tampa. But at least we now know who Adam Cole most likely will be going against at NXT TakeOver Tampa, and it's going to be the Dream. So I did kind of like how he just looked at Dream. It's like, you know what? I'm done with you. I want the belt. So I'm going to go after Cole and beat the crap out of all the Undisputed Era. So there you go. But other than that, though, that is my review of NXT. Comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about the show. Follow me on Twitter at Hoodie9890. Hopefully this video will be uploaded sometime tonight, along with the AEW review. So other than that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.